don't really know how to start this video. I'm going to show you some books. So the last time I did this video was back in December, and coincidentally I also filmed that video because I was way too busy to actually put any craft and care into anything that involved more than 2 brain cells. So I hope these videos don't come across as me bragging about books that I own. Just understand the most expensive book you're going to see today was $10, and when you see what it is, you're going to realize why it was worth the $10. But even that was like from a thrift store, like secondhand shop. I don't buy a lot of books full price for a lot of money. And I only have 4 copies of this as opposed to I think the 6 that I own of A Christmas Carol. But when I held them up in the last video, I realized I'd never shown them, and I didn't actually realize until that video I had 4 copies of this, and I'm pretty sure I also have an ebook version on my Kindle, because I can read all of those at once. And now I would like more copies of this book, mainly because I'm always looking for books that you would teach in school for very, very cheap in thrift stores, and I collect them in a container in the back of my house so I can take to a classroom library one day. That way I don't have to rely on people to provide my books for me. If you don't have it, cool, I have it. So I only have 4 copies of these. I would like another one to keep on my shelf that's nice looking, like a nice hardcover. I only have 2 hardcovers, and while I do like one of them, it's not really a good display version of Frankenstein, if that makes sense. But anyway, I'm talking too much and saying a lot for no reason, and I just need to show you the books. Like what happened before, I'm working with a camera, and I'm kind of one-handed, so these may be filmed kind of weird looking, but it really is just so you can see what's going on with the books. Please forgive the absolute garbage lighting in this room, but this is my original edition of Frankenstein. This is the required edition, Penguin Classic, that I had to get for class. It is heavily annotated. I know you can't tell because this was early in my annotation, so I have things underlined, and you know, it's really basic. There's not a lot going on, not a lot of extra that needs to be talked about. It's got a fun little letter from Mary Shelley at the beginning where she explains how the idea came to her and what she had planned when she wrote it, which I think was really fascinating. But this is just a really, you know, it's a standard copy. It does what it's supposed to do, and I don't think it was very expensive. I think this was only about $8 because he, you know, kept in mind that he had us buying like 8 books for that semester. So this is just, it's serviceable, right? And it's annotated so I can use it for class in the future if I decide to teach Frankenstein. So this is my OG paperback. This is my second paperback copy of Frankenstein. This is a Simon & Schuster enriched classic, if I can speak. This one is not really great. I know why the cover is this way, but it just doesn't read Frankenstein to me off the bat. This one actually came from an English major, like friend of mine who used to teach, and he taught Frankenstein, and he let me have this when he found out we were going to be reading Frankenstein, and I hope I was supposed to keep it. He certainly kept his annotated copy, so the fact that this one did not have annotations makes me believe he did give it to me. If he wants to clear that up in the future, that's fine. But anyway, again, serviceable. I may go back and annotate this one because it's got the enriched classic stuff, and I think it has some extra material. Those are always good for teaching. And annotate it like I annotate now with the different colors, so it's easier for me to locate stuff. But, I mean, you know, it is what it is. But this is, again, a serviceable school copy of Frankenstein. This is where we start getting into the fun stuff. This is a Permabound. It's one of those fun, like, glazed hardcovers that you always see in classrooms. Or maybe you don't anymore, but these were really common when I was growing up, that everything was kind of one and done hardcover with, like, a implied jacket. I love the cover of this one. It's very, like, minimalist, but it still has a little bit more creep to it than I think the other 2 did. And this one apparently came from Vermont, which is interesting. Again, this one came from a thrift store. I think it was like 25 cents. That is certainly an interesting picture of Mary Shelley. And it's just, I don't know, this one feels really nice, but it also feels dated. It feels like this would be a very difficult book for a student to read just because of how it's formatted. So this is one that I just keep on my shelf for my sake. Again, one of the other two may end up in a like a classroom library, but this one is definitely going to stay on my shelf because I think it's kind of cool and unique, and I've never seen anything like it. Okay, this one is my pride and joy. This is the one that I correct myself. This was $7, and it came from Second and Charles in Charlotte. It lives on my leather and clothbound shelf because it is a clothbound book. And it's in this box. You know, it's got the fun little veining branches on the back. And it's just very, very nice. Again, decently gothic and creepy. But the book itself is where things get wild. Look at this. So that's silver. I know it's hard to tell. And let's see if I can get it out of here with one hand. Come on, baby. Show everybody how pretty you are. Spoiler alert, I could not get it out with one hand. So this is my second hardcover edition of Frankenstein. And here again is the spine with its silver foil detail. And get ready, because here's the cover. It's okay, take a moment. It is also silver foil. It's beautiful. I love it. And it has silver foiled edges. Now, I'm a sucker for any kind of gilded edge. I think gilded edges and sprayed edges are honestly the best kind of fun thing you can do with a book. It just elevates it. It feels so chic. I love the size of this one. It reminds me a lot of the Christmas Carol reproduction edition I showed in the last version of this video, where it's kind of small. The only thing this doesn't have, the only thing that keeps this from being one of my favorite books in my collection, is it does not have a cloth bookmark. It feels like that would be such a simple thing to add, but I'm really honestly just thrilled that I own this at all. It's so beautiful and just photo worthy, especially in this background now that I'm looking at it. But anyway, this has been probably my favorite version of Frankenstein that I own, which is why I saved it for last. So yeah, this is Frankenstein with silver foil trees. So that's it. That's the video. Those are my editions of Frankenstein. I think this book is amazing, and I would own more copies of it. Every time I see it, I want to snap it up, unless it's like a really ugly copy. But to be honest, I haven't seen any really ugly copies. There is an edition I've seen online that's really pretty, and I may have to snatch. But this is Pepper, by the way. Say hey, Pepper. Say hey. Okay. Thank you for starring in the video. Yeah, they love seeing your tail. Anyway, I'm also wearing my Frankenstein shirt that says, "Beware, for I'm fearless and therefore powerful." We love to see it. Anyway, that's been the video. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next week. Also, everyone appreciate that I've gotten the piano out of here now. This is what this side of the room looks like. I've gotten another shelf up. I'm going to buy another one to put here where this poster and the fireplace are, because the fireplace can move underneath the window, and I can get rid of that ugly shelf that no longer matches the other things in here. But I can only do a little bit at a time, mainly because of money and also because of time to build. I'm doing a lot right now. But this is what is going to go here, is another shelf to hold more books. Because I need that temptation. Look at all that space down at the bottom that books could live in. Anyway,